Joe Biden's very racist tax proposal. All right, we're just going to cut to the chase here. This is freaking disgusting, but it is what it is. Reform the taxation of capital income. He's talking about long-term capital gains and qualified dividends. And right here, preferential tax rates also disproportionately benefit white taxpayers who receive the overwhelming majority of the benefits of the reduced rates. Huh. So never knew that your skin color has anything to do with the tax code, but apparently it does, because white people have been so scared to stand up and say no more. Look, at the end of the day, the white people have been beaten down. It's Stockholm syndrome, but it's not. People are just sick of this crap, dude. I've been sick of it hell, since 1992 when I was on the Pat Buchanan train back then. I'm sick of it. I've been sick of it forever. And it's just like, this is insane. To actually make a tax proposal based on the skin color is absolutely absurd. Oh, but I don't care what it used to be. I don't care. It's not like that now. It is like this today. White people, for some reason, have allowed themselves to be beaten down, Stockholm syndrome, in the butt of every single joke. And I mean, literally, it's horrible, dude. It's horrible. If you're white, would you just stand up for yourself for 1 second? Say, no, I'm white. You don't have to say my best friend's black. You don't have to say, oh, I'm not racist, but you're not racist. Just say no. I got kids who are white. I don't want them to have to go through this crap. I'm going to share with you something here. I found this. I was surprised I could find it. There's a letter to the editor I had written in Forbes magazine in April 2000. This is before my daughter, Maddie, was born. This is before Maddie was born. She was born 4 months later. I said, race doesn't matter. This is my article, letter to the editor. Once again, I'm surprised how Forbes allows race baiters space in its magazine. This time, it's Amy Dean, an AFL-CIO executive who disparages white men with her comments on how internet millionaires are just a bunch of young white guys being in the right place and winning the lottery. First of all, I hadn't realized the founder of eBay was a white guy, because there used to be the guy who was named Pierre Amador, and he was like Middle Eastern of some sort. So he's brown. So inherently, he's better than everybody else because he's brown, or at least everybody that's white. But secondly, even if the market caps of these internet companies are obscene, and even I was calling it back then because your old buddy Josh knew, I said those PE ratios are obscene. Does that mean the supposed white guys who are the CEOs didn't bust their tails? And so kudos for Forbes for posting that. When I had my exit interview from Vanguard in 1999, I had a black HR lady, and I said, she goes, why are you doing this? I said, I'm sick of this anti-white crap. And she goes, you should walk a mile in my shoes. I said, you should walk a mile in my shoes, sister. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm white. In fact, what is wrong with white privilege, by the way? I never understood this. What's wrong with wanting your kids to have a better life than you? What's wrong with being a dad and a mom in a family, in a nuclear family, saying, I'm going to raise my children to have things I did not have? What's wrong with that? That is a privilege you're passing down. Why would I want to give up that? Why are white people always on the defensive saying, oh my goodness, oh, you can't have white privilege? No, bullcrap. I like my white privilege. I want to keep it. I want my kids to have more than what I did. I want my kids to struggle less than what I did. I want them to struggle in their own regard, for sure. I don't want them to give them freaking everything with a silver spoon, but I want them to avoid what I went through. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with white privilege? You're damn right. How you have white privilege? It's how you have any privilege. You have a husband and a wife in the household, raising the kids. That's how you have it. That's how you have white privilege. I was talking to this guy today, an Indian guy, which you'll go nameless. I said, what's the divorce rate among Indians? I said, it's got to be pretty low, given the fact how much money they spend on marriages. And I think they even still have arranged marriages. He goes, it's very, very low. I said, I'm sure it is. That's Indian privilege. I know this is crazy. We don't just walk up and say, hey, I got my white card. Give me some money. It doesn't work like that. It's the antithesis of that. It's been like that for 30 years. For some reason, whites have allowed this because they're like, oh, they won't come after me. I don't want to be called racist. Dude, those days are so far over. I remember on the first day I went to George Mason University to tour the school. This is 92. It says all these celebrate diversity signs out there. It was all anti-white propaganda. It's been like that for 30 odd years, dude. Probably even the 80s, but in the 80s I didn't know. In the 80s I was liberal. And I said, you know something? Even back then, I said, this sits wrong with me. I'll never forget that just celebrate diversity. So it wasn't diversity, it was anti-white. You think these anti-Israel protesters give two craps about Israel, Palestine? No, they're anti-white, anti-American. If you're using the skin color in your tax proposal, inherently you're wrong. And whites need to start saying, no, this is anti-whiteism. This is all this is. Anti-white, enough of this crap, because what's happening is going to happen more and more. And whites did not want this to happen. You're going to have segregated, where people say, I need to join a group to defend my own. No one in the white side, I mean, very few people want that to happen. We all want to be colorblind. Because like Ann Coulter said a long time ago, our blacks are better than their blacks, the left wing. The right wing blacks are freaking crushing it. I love right wing. I would take a freaking million Jason Whitlocks any day of the week over these idiot protesters who happen to be white. I don't share anything with those idiots at all. Give me a Jason Whitlock, give me a Ben Carson, give me a Ruin Leon, give me a Barricade Garage. I'll take these guys any day of the week over those freaking white clowns. No one wants it to be like, oh, same group preference for white skin. We don't want that. We just want to be treated right and say, to have the tax code explicitly say whites are the beneficiary. That doesn't mean anything. By the way, how can I say Asians there, Sniffy Joe? Asians are even better off than whites. Why do you say that? Oh, because they're brown. Oh, you can't say anything negative about brown people because black and brown, black and brown. And that's another thing that ticks me off. I don't get why blacks have allowed that black and brown thing. It's crazy. Blacks, what are you doing? You don't align yourself with these brown people. That's stupid. You're diluting your political power by doing that. Because first of all, a lot of the brown people, they came here on their own, all right? And slowly but surely, they're seeing the insanity of the left wing. And they're fleeing you guys over here on the far left. They're coming to our side, left and right. Because they're like, this is insane what's happening in America. And they say, the Democrats are nuts. We come from old school country where we still are conservative minded. We're going to go over this part. Of course, Republicans, 5 years from now, we're going to be like Democrats anyway. But the black people aligned with the black and brown, that's just idiotic, man. They think there's power in numbers. There isn't. There's only power in numbers when you can beat up on white people. But white people at some point, it seems like lately we're starting to stand up more and more. Now you're going to be taking on each other. You just see what I'm saying? Idiotic. It should never be like that, frankly. I mean, the idea that it's like, oh my goodness, we got to get a POC in there, like some guy who just came here from Colombia or Brazil or Argentina, like they're brown, so they get ahead of me who's white. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, he's brown. I don't give two craps. The whole thing's crazy. The fact that the tax code is doing this is nuts. And they all suck. And we got more on the tax code to talk about because we're going to talk about Sniffy Joe's thing. It just pisses me off. I hate the anti-white crap. I hate it. I hate any anti-thing. No one else is the reason for your failures. No Jews are, no Christians are, no Muslims are. No blacks are, no browns are, no whites are, no Asians are. No one else is responsible for your fate, or your failures. That's the issue about this. It's embarrassing to say, oh, it'd be great if it weren't for those people. It can be great even with those people, whoever those people are. You are responsible for your lot in life in the United States. You are responsible for your own happiness. That's it. End of story. Blaming other people is a weak thing to do. Only losers do that. Yeah, you might have more things, hurdles you got to jump over. Well, welcome to the club, dude. That's America. The more hurdles you jump over, the higher you jump. That's crazy. And the higher you jump, the more you succeed. All right, love your thoughts. God bless.